The Hindu creation myth is a complicated one at best, but I think it is most easily summed up by our book, which describes it simply as the world being created, destroyed, and recreated in an eternally repetitive series of cycles. This idea comes from the Hindu belief that the soul is eternal, and that the Atman is never created or destroyed. These beliefs also include that the actions of a soul in one's life will be reflected in the next. Karma is you know what I mean.
Right? I said big.
In order to go more into depth, one must understand that the Hindu creation is not really a creation story at all. It is more of a lesson on how the world works. It tells us that the world continuously moves from one Mahayuga to the next. A Mahayuga is a great age, and each lasts 4,320,000 years. And within each Mahayuga are 4 yugas, or ages, that descend into a morally worse age than the one before it. A Mahayuga always begins with the Krita Yuga, the age of virtue and moral perfection. It is the, quote, golden age of the Mahayuga. Brahma, the grandfather and creator of the world, is the presiding god over this era. During this age, Dharma, the moral duty of Hindus and central concept to understanding Hinduism, is abundant and common. The Krita Yuga lasts 1,728,000 years, and during this period, humans do not need shelter, the earth gives them everything they need. Sorrow does not exist, and people work for pleasure rather than necessity. Also, everyone is born good and lives lives of the highest virtue by spending their life loyal to Dharma. The second age is the Treta Yuga. In this age, Dharma is not as abundant, and it faces the challenges of a developing society. Virtue and moral perfection still exist, but they too have decreased in their strength. Vishnu, the Lord of heavenly light and the preserver of life on earth, watches over this age. The people consider the pursuit of knowledge the highest virtue. Rainfall creates rivers, and the land becomes fertile, and the people are able to grow their own food. But because of greed, people must work harder to survive. Once this happens, life becomes more difficult. In Treta Yuga, the society is more passionate and greedy. They no longer appreciate what they have. Dissatisfaction, resentment, and anger replace the satisfaction, peace, and contentment that was seen during the Krita Yuga. The third age is called the Dvapara Yuga, and Dharma now sits unsteadily in the minds of people during this era. Constantly throughout this age there is a shifting between good and evil. Moral perfection and virtue still exist, but in dwindling amounts. Vishnu remains the presiding god, and people consider sacrifice the highest virtue. During Dvapara Yuga, disease, misfortune, suffering, and death are part of everyday existence. People are passionate, greedy, and wars are now common. Religions are developed as a way to guide human behavior, and moral deterioration continues. Kali Yuga is the fourth age. People have now achieved noble rank based solely on the amount of money, property, and power they have, rather than their moral virtue. Material wealth is the only measurement used to show the quality of virtue. Only the wealthy are successful, only the poor are honest, and the only remaining virtue is charity and pity. Because of fear of the powerful, the life expectancy is low. After 1,000 Mahayugas, Vishnu changes into the form of Shiva, the destroyer, and will destroy all life on earth.
You ain't going nowhere! Where are you going? Get back here! You killed my friend!
First, he intensifies the sun's rays for 100 years, causing the evaporation of all water. All 3 worlds, heaven, earth, and the underworld, will burn up from the heat caused by the sun. The drought will cause a wasteland where famine walks the earth, and 100 years later, no living creature will remain. Next, Shiva will exhale great storm clouds that move across the earth and cloak the world in darkness. For 100 years, rain will pour until the world is covered in water. Only Vishnu remains, for the fire and flood have destroyed all other gods. As the world is flooding, a large golden egg that houses the seeds of all forms of life appears, and as the world drowns, the egg floats on the water safely. When the ocean covers the world, Vishnu will exhale a great wind that blows for 100 years. Then for the remainder of the 1,000 Mahayugas, Vishnu will sleep, and so will the world. At the end of the 1,000 Mahayugas, Vishnu will awaken and a lotus flower will emerge. From the lotus flower, Brahma, creator of life on earth, will arise. The lotus flower will become the foundation of the three worlds. Brahma will break open the egg to initiate the process of rebirth, and a new period of 1,000 Mahayugas will begin.
I must be out of my mind.
I have neither the time nor the effort to calculate which yuga we are in at this moment. But maybe it doesn't matter, because we will always be stuck in this endless cycle of creation, destruction, and rebirth. Maybe we are constantly repeating what has come before, never learning, just evolving our technology to preserve our suffering for longer. Or possibly this cycle gives us hope that no matter how terrible society gets, there will always be a new beginning. But nevertheless, it's not my job to tell you which one is right. That's up to you.